What's up guys, it's Nolan here with Oakos Automotive, back with another video on our new BRZ. Today we're going back to mess with the suspension again, but it might not be what you expect. So we are actually a bit already into winter here, but now anyways, we are opting to pull off the coilovers in favor of the stock suspension, mainly just to get the car up a little bit higher for driving around in the snow, as well as to keep a bit of the corrosion from salt and such off of the coilovers. So we're gonna go back to the stock struts here, but with a little bit of a twist. We're gonna go ahead and add on a lift kit. So for the lift kit, we decided to go with the ADF offering here. This is the 1.5 inch. They do offer a 2 inch as well, but I don't think they have explicit fitment for the 2022 plus cars just yet. But the 1.5 inch will surely be, more than enough to have a noticeable difference on the overall ride height. So that's cool there. You get, of course, the strut top spacers, front and rear. Some subframe spacers with the necessary extended hardware, and then some other brackets like these, hardware, etc. Just all the stuff you need to install it properly and maintain some semblance of suspension geometry, hopefully. But yeah, we're gonna start getting the car pulled apart a little bit, get these put onto the struts, and just kind of give you an overview of the process involved. Let's get going. All right, we're starting with the front strut here. Luckily the front is pretty straightforward. You just take your top spacer here, slide it on any way you like. These are gonna rotate, so you don't have to worry about the orientation on the top hat. And then get some nuts on there. So now we can take the bolted on assembly here. Just as we're sliding in, we gotta make sure it's orientated correctly. This is the, signifying whether it's left or right, this one being the left. Just make sure that mark is forward for this particular kit. Yeah, it's a little bit more effort involved in getting the knuckle mated up. You got to pull down a bit on the knuckle, basically just because of the extra length in the shock. But that's what you want. You want the lift, so we got it. So that's just like yes. We're starting on the rear. For the strut, it's just the same thing. You're gonna take your strut top spacer and a nut. And then once we get both of these wrapped up, we're actually gonna put them back on the car, and then we have to get onto what they call the multi-link spacer setup. That's a little more involved, but we will tackle that after these are done. All right, so now with the rear struts back in, mostly bolted on, we've got the subframe supported basically by the rear diff here. So we're gonna unbolt the main attachment points for the subframe, so we have access to slide the spacers in. So with that stuff unbolted now, we can lower our support stand here. Just gonna unthread it to drop the subframe enough to slide the spacer in. Here's the bolt they give you versus the OEM. I'm guessing these are from like the Forester or Outback that comes with a subframe spacer from the factory, because they are an OEM bolt. So that's nice to see. Then we'll take this block here, put it up in there. And then just to basically get these support brackets where they need to be, there's this block as well. Just slide that in there. Like so. And then make sure before you have anything else lined up that you crank these down with an impact so nothing else lines up.
That's like when you have a big...
Right. That's all the spacer blocks lined up. You can see them just chilling in there. I've got the bolts threaded in a little bit of the way, but just to help with getting everything lined up correctly, I'm gonna crank the stand back up and kind of get everything seated back to the chassis. Just kind of like this. Like that? Bet, bro. Bet. For real, on God. Not the... Handle this. Last little bit until we're all done. Just have to take this bracket for the brake line. It's basically just gonna extend it from being down here to up there. So don't get any snagging or kinking on it with the newly lowered subframe. Basically, that just bolts in there. A silly little that. All right, so with the lift kit wrapped up, we just have one thing to kind of finalize our winter setup here. Of course, we're gonna continue with our pickup truck activities with a wheel spacer. You know, you gotta fill the wheel well out a little bit with the lift kit, of course. So we went with the ISC wheel spacers. That's a 25 mil. Should kind of flush it out, maybe just give it a little bit of poke, but we'll see once it's on the ground. All right, we got our spacers on, torqued properly now, so we are ready to put the wheels on. So we went with a 17x8 RPF1, just with a nice snow tire. Hopefully you could still do some donuts and have some fun when we get some snowfall, despite the car being two-wheel drive. But yeah, should look pretty good with the spacer, I think. That was fun. Now, we've shown you some BRZ action. Now let's see some lifted truck action. Well, all right, that's one lifted BRZ for you. Did a little bit of BRZ driving, a little bit of lifted truck driving, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Like you definitely notice the higher seating position and the higher center of gravity, but overall, like it's still fairly stiff and doesn't roll around too much, which maybe you'd want that in a lifted car to have a little bit more fun, but you certainly maintain a lot of the sharpness in the BRZ handling. So that's cool. Definitely excited to get some more snow on the ground, maybe a good couple inches, and just plow through some powder without really worrying about the front bumper or the ground clearance as much as before. But yeah, it's gonna be it for this video. Drop us a like, you know, some comments. Let us know how stupid we are for lifting a BRZ or how much you love it, or anything in between, really. But we're gonna get some sick beauty shots of this thing, and we'll see you in the next one.